There are new allegations of misconduct and assault by a prominent filmmaker, Bryan Singer.
I've had put in drinks. I had liquor poured down my throat.
To hear that Brian Peck was it made me wonder immediately about who was being hurt.
It wasn't dealing with anybody on the shows or anything, right?
It was a child actor.
On one of our shows.
Yes.
He is accused right now in the newspapers, perhaps later in a court of law, of abusing their 7-year-old adopted daughter, Dylan. Woody Allen doesn't deny having an affair with 21-year-old Sunyi Previn, who Mia adopted.
Now I find it hard to believe how well organized it was.
Oh my gosh! Let's spill the tea on some of Tinseltown's most controversial directors. We're talking Bryan Singer, Steven Spielberg, and even Woody Allen. Buckle up, besties, because this ride is about to get bumpy. Let's start with the man behind the X-Men franchise, Bryan Singer. Now, we all love those mutant superheroes, but the drama behind the scenes, it's wilder than Wolverine on a bad hair day. Our favorite Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, recently opened up about his experiences on Singer's X-Men sets. While he didn't directly confirm any allegations, Jackman did drop some pretty big hints. He said, "There are some stories, you know. I think there are some ways of being on set that would not happen now." Yikes. He also mentioned that there's now zero tolerance for disrespectful, marginalizing, or bullying behavior. It sounds like things were pretty tense back then. But here's where it gets really wild. Remember when Singer was working on the first X-Men movie? Well, apparently, Michael Jackson, yes, the Michael Jackson, showed up at the Fox offices wanting to play Professor Xavier. Can you imagine the king of pop as the leader of the X-Men? Jackson even offered to use makeup to look like an older white man. But in the end, they went with Patrick Stewart. I mean, could you really picture anyone else in that wheelchair? Now, Singer's reputation in Hollywood is, let's just say, it's complicated. There have been numerous allegations of misconduct, especially involving young people. Singer has denied all these claims, but the accusations have seriously tarnished his career. On the X-Men sets, things were apparently pretty chaotic. There were reports of tantrums, feuds, and all sorts of drama. During the filming of X2, things got so bad that Halle Berry reportedly told Singer, "You can kiss my black A." Now that's what I call standing up for yourself. Despite all this drama, the X-Men movies were huge hits, but as the Me Too movement gained momentum, Singer's career took a nosedive. He was even fired from directing Bohemian Rhapsody because of his erratic behavior on set. Talk about a fall from grace, but hold on to your hats, loves, because Singer isn't the only director with a controversial past. Let's talk about the man behind some of our favorite childhood movies, Steven Spielberg. Now, Spielberg is known for his movie magic, but some of the stuff that's come out about him is, well, it's not so magical. During the planning stages for Raiders of the Lost Ark, Spielberg, George Lucas, and Lawrence Kasdan had some pretty disturbing conversations about the relationship between Indiana Jones and Marion Ravenwood. Get this, they were discussing how old Marion should be when she and Indy first had a relationship. Lucas suggested she could have been as young as 11 when they first met, with Indy being in his 20s or 30s. Spielberg's contribution? He said, she had better be older than 22. Excuse me? That's still a huge age gap. They went on to discuss making Marion promiscuous and having her be the one who came on to Indy when she was underage. Lucas even said, 15 is right on the edge. I know it's an outrageous idea, but it is interesting. No, George, it's not interesting. It's disturbing. In the end, they cast Karen Allen, who was 30 at the time, opposite 39-year-old Harrison Ford. But the fact that they even considered making Marion a teenager, or worse, a child, is seriously problematic. But wait, there's more! There's a pretty disturbing blind item from the Jurassic Park days involving Spielberg and a young actress, believed to be Ariana Richards. The story alleges that Spielberg would send away the girl's chaperone every night so he could tuck her in. The actress, now an adult, reportedly still wakes up screaming from nightmares about what happened. Now, I have to stress that these are unconfirmed allegations. But if true, it paints a very dark picture of what was happening behind the scenes of one of our favorite dinosaur movies. Moving on to another controversial figure in the kids' TV world, Brian Peck. Peck worked as a dialogue coach on several Nickelodeon shows, including The Amanda Show and All That. In 2004, he was sentenced to 16 months in prison after pleading no contest to charges involving a child actor. For years, the identity of Peck's victim was unknown, but recently, former Nickelodeon star Drake Bell has come forward saying he was the child actor involved in the case. Bell, who starred in Drake and Josh, will be sharing his story in an upcoming TV series called Quiet on Set: The Dark Side of Kids TV. The allegations against Peck have sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Even the cast of Boy Meets World, where Peck also worked, have expressed guilt and shame for supporting him during his trial. They claim Peck manipulated them into believing he was the victim, not realizing the full extent of the charges against him. Will Friedle, who played Eric Matthews on Boy Meets World, shared a heartbreaking story about attending Peck's trial. He said, "We're then sitting in that courtroom on the wrong side of everything, of course, having no idea. It was filled with child actors to the point that the victim's mother turned around and said, 'Look at all the famous people you brought with you. And it doesn't change what you did to my kid. I just sat there wanting to die.' This just goes to show how manipulative predators can be, even fooling those closest to them." Last but certainly not least, we need to talk about Woody Allen. Once celebrated as one of the greatest American filmmakers, Allen's reputation has been severely damaged by allegations of sexual misconduct. The controversy surrounding Allen dates back to 1992, when his then partner, Mia Farrow, discovered explicit photos of her adopted daughter, Soon-Yi Previn, taken by Allen. At the time, Previn was just 21 and Allen was in his 50s. Yikes. But it gets worse. Shortly after this discovery, Allen was accused of sexually abusing Dylan Farrow, his adopted daughter with Mia, who was just 7 years old at the time. The allegations led to a bitter custody battle and a media frenzy. Allen has always denied the allegations, claiming that Mia Farrow coached Dylan to lie as revenge for his relationship with Soon-Yi. A team of medical experts examined Dylan and found no signs of abuse, but the controversy has never fully died down. The case went to court, with witnesses testifying about what they saw on the day of the alleged abuse. In the end, the judge awarded custody to Mia Farrow, calling Allen self-absorbed, untrustworthy, and insensitive. Despite all this, Allen wasn't charged with a crime. The state attorney said he had probable cause to charge Allen but chose not to in order to spare Dylan the trauma of a trial. Allen went on to marry Soon-Yi Previn in 1997, but his reputation never fully recovered. So, what does all this mean, loves? Well, it's a stark reminder that even in the glitzy world of Hollywood, there can be some seriously dark shadows lurking behind the scenes. These stories show us that talent and fame don't excuse abusive behavior, and that the entertainment industry has a responsibility to protect its most vulnerable members. It's also a wake-up call for all of us. We need to be more critical of the media we consume and the people we idolize. Just because someone makes great movies or TV shows doesn't mean they're a great person in real life. But it's not all doom and gloom. The fact that these stories are coming to light now shows that things are changing. People are speaking up, and the industry is slowly starting to listen. As Hugh Jackman said, there's now zero tolerance for abusive behavior on set. That's progress, people. So, what do you think about all this, loves? Are you shocked by these revelations? Do you think Hollywood is doing enough to protect vulnerable people in the industry? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, while it's important to enjoy movies and TV shows, it's equally important to be aware of what's happening behind the scenes. We can love the art while still holding the artists accountable for their actions. That's all for now, my fabulous friends. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the latest Hollywood tea. Until next time, stay sassy, stay informed, and always keep spilling that tea. Goodbye!